Hi, hello, dear students. Today we will start another interesting chapter of CBSE class 10th political science book. The chapter name is Federalism. So, in this chapter, we will discuss various features of federalism, the meaning of federalism, and what type of governing system is there in India according to the federal structure of our country. So, dear students, let's begin this chapter. Hello, dear students. In the beginning of this chapter, that is the federalism, we will discuss the definition and meaning of federalism. Dear student, and simply you have to remember that federalism means the division of power between the central and state government. That means for the smooth functioning of a governing system of a country, the power is distributed among central and state government and other its local governments. Now we will discuss the features of federalism. The first feature of federalism is that there are two or more levels of government. The second feature of federalism is that uh, all the citizens in the country are governed by various levels of the government, that is either central government, state government or local government, but all are the same citizens. It means in India we are governed by the central government, then our respective state governments, then our respective local self government. Local self government means either that is our panchayat level, the people those who are residing in rural area, and by municipality authorities in the urban areas. Similarly, the third feature of federalism is that the fundamental provisions of the constitution cannot be changed by one level of government. That means for any type of change in the constitution, all the three levels or all levels of government directly or indirectly involves in the changing process of the constitution, or any type of new changes. It completely needs the approval of all the governments. Now we will discuss the fourth feature of federalism. The fourth feature of federalism is that judiciary prevents conflict among various levels of the government. It means the Supreme Court, especially the Supreme Court, plays a vital or major role in solving the disputes of various levels of the government. In case of if dispute occurs in the between the central and state government, then Supreme Court involves in this matter. That means the judiciary prevents conflict, means it may be relating to any type of issues. Then the fifth feature of federalism is that the source of revenue is clearly specified for each level of government. That means the central government is specified the various types of revenues for the states as well as for the, and the states in return specified the revenue for the local governments. So once again we will remind what we have discussed in this part. First we have discussed the definition of federalism, that is the federalism is a system of government in which power is divided between the central authority, that is central government, and various constituent units means the state government. So simply state and center, power distribution between state and center is federalism. And the features, we have already discussed the features. The first feature is two or more levels of government. The second feature is all the citizens in a country governed by central as well as state as well as the local units, especially in India. The third feature of federalism is that the fundamental provisions means for any type of change in the constitution, the approval of both central and state government is required. The fourth feature is the judiciary system, that is Supreme Court solves the dispute between the central and state government. The fifth feature is the source of revenue is clearly specified for each level of government. So now we will move to the next part of this chapter. Dear students, this part is also very interesting and easy one, the kinds of federalism. Students, there are two kinds of federalism prevailing in the world. It means federalism is two types. One is coming together and the second one is holding together. So simply students, you will remember the types or kinds of federalism is two types. One is coming together and the another type of federalism is holding together. First we will discuss what is coming together federalism. Coming together federalism simply means when various small units join together to form a country or a large unit. It means when the small parts of an area come together to form a large area. simply the example of coming together federation is the United States of America and the United Kingdom, because in these two countries, and there are also many other countries having coming together federation, in these countries the states join together to form the country. It means the states are coming to form the country. The second type of federalism is holding together federation. Holding together federation or holding together federalism means when the central government create various units for its administrative convenience. It means when the central government finds difficult to manage the country's affairs, at that time it creates some states by which it can rule the country easily. It means the example of holding together federation is India, because in India the states are created on the basis of language. So dear students, in this part we have discussed that the kinds of federalism. The kinds of federalism means two types or two kinds of federalism. One is coming together and another is holding together. So dear students, now we will move to the next part of federalism. Dear students, this part of federalism is very important. In this part we will discuss what makes India a federal country. Matlab, what are the features that we can call India a federal country? The first feature which makes India a federal country is that in India there are two tiers of government. Clearly we all know that there is a central government and there are state governments to administer the or to manage the administrative system of the country. Later on, the third tier of federalism was added in the form of panchayats and municipalities. So dear students, first we will remember that in India there are three levels of government. One is central government, another is state government, and the third one is that is the uh, local self government. It means the panchayat raj in rural areas and municipalities in urban areas. So clearly we will remember that in India federalism is, or the power in India is distributed among central government, state government and local self government. Another feature that makes India a federal country is that the constitution divides power between the central government and state government uh, within three lists. Means the power is divided between central and state government uh, uh, according to the provisions of three lists. First list is that union list. In this list all the items or all the subjects managed by the central government. So union list is very easy. In union list the items which comes under union list are managed by the central government. We will take some examples just like the uh, defense system of the country, Indian Railway, Indian Postal. These subjects are directly managed by the central government. So the items under union list directly managed by the central government. Now we will discuss the second list is that state list. In state list the items or the subjects are managed by the state government, just like uh, the police department, the interstate affairs, uh, these type of items managed by the state government. So state list, in state list the items or subjects are clearly managed by the state government. Now we will move to the third list. The third list is concurrent list. Concurrent list means it is a list, means all the subjects in this list are managed both by the central and state government. Means jointly the central and state government clearly manages the affairs of the concurrent list. So dear students, you must have to remember the three lists. One is a union list or state list, another is concurrent list. I have mentioned the three lists very clearly, so you have to remember the three lists. Now another point of federal, another point that which makes India federal country is that residuary power. Means in concurrent list the powers, in concurrent list more power is vested in in the hands of the central government. Means in some items only the in some items of concurrent list, when any type of dispute arises, at that time central government is more powerful than the state government in concurrent list. So we have discussed in this part that what makes India a federation or a federal country. Students, very easy. First one is that there are three levels of government. Second one, three lists you have to remember, and the third one is residuary powers. So dear students, let's we will move to the next part. Dear students, in this part we will discuss the features of Indian federalism. Uh, this part is also a very easy one. The first feature of Indian federalism is that all states of India don't have equal powers. Means some states are managed by the central government and some states have their own jurisdiction. So all states don't have equal power. It depends on the provisions of the constitution and according to the decision of the Indian parliament, the power is vested in the state government. So all states don't enjoy equal power. We can take the example of Delhi. Delhi is a union territory, come a state. There is state government. There is there prevails the power of both central and state government. So all states don't possess or have equal power. Second one of Indian federalism feature is for any change of federal structure, very simple. It means for creation of new state, it clearly depends the approval of the parliament. That is, when it gets the approval of two-third majority in the parliament, then any type of change occurs in the federal structure of Indian federalism. Then the third feature of Indian federalism is that the judiciary oversees the implementation of constitutional provisions and procedures. Means the judiciary is the final authority to decide for changes any type of changes for federal structure in India. So dear student, this part is very easy one also. So we will now we will move to the next part. Dear students, this part is very important for your exam point of view, and this part is also very easy one. In this part, we will discuss how is federalism practiced in India. It means how states created in India. So, dear students, you have to remember that after right after independence, in India there are more than or nearly some hundreds of princely states. That means no clear states were there in India. So in 1947, there were no states. After achieving the independence and after 1950s, after 1950, the states in India created according to language and culture basis. Means first, you have to remember that the states in India are created on the basis of language. So, dear students, you have to remember that in India the states are created on the basis of language. So now we will discuss the language policy of India. All students, we all know that in India Hindi and English are the official languages of India. That means for any type of official purpose we can use Hindi and English language. There are also regional languages practiced in the states. Means the official language of state government is different according to their mother tongue. So simply in language policy we will remember that the official languages of India are Hindi and English. Besides Hindi and English, there are 21 other languages recognized by our constitution as the scheduled language of Indian constitution. It means various state governments can use their mother tongue as their official language. So in this part, we have discussed that how the states of India created and what is language policy. So students, we will move to the next part. Hello students, in this part we will discuss the decentralization in India. Dear students, simply you have to remember that decentralization means when power is taken away from central and state government and given to the local government, we can call this as decentralization. It means decentralization simply means when power taken from central and state government and given to the local authorities or the local administration, that is the local self government. So the creation of local self government is known as decentralization. Decentralization means power given to the local government and this power is taken from the central and state government. That means central and state government creates another government, that is local self government, and vests some power in that government. So before 1992 the local bodies were directly under the state government. That means before 1992 there were no local self or no powerful local self government, but after 1992 the local self government, that is Panchayat Raj and municipalities, got more power. regular elections were organized. We all know that nowadays, or after 1992, the local self government or the elections for local self governments organized in a regular basis, that is 5 years, generally 5 years. Regular elections for local self government seats are reserved for SC, ST, OBC and women candidates. State election commission created. State government bound to share some power and revenue to the local government. So in this chapter we have discussed what is decentralization and how local self government got more power from the central and state government. So I hope you will understand this part very easily. Now we will move to the last part of this chapter. Dear student, this is the last part of our second chapter, federalism, that is rural local government, rural government and urban local self government. First of all, we will discuss the rural local self government. Rural local self government, we all know that that is the panchayat raj system. It is three types, that is gram panchayat or panchayat, gram panchayat, second is panchayat samiti, third is jilla parishad. So dear students, rural local self administration is divided into three parts. One is gram panchayat and its head is sarpanch. Second one is panchayat samiti, means after taking some gram panchayat, some panchayat samiti is created, and by taking all the panchayat samitis, jilla parishad is created. So dear students, simply we have to or you have to remember that rural local self government is three types: gram panchayat, panchayat samiti, third one is jilla parishad. Here you can face the questions like what is the grassroots level of rural local self government, that is the gram panchayat. Middle one is panchayat samiti, top one is jilla parishad. So bottom one or the grassroots level is gram panchayat, middle one is panchayat samiti and the top one is jilla parishad. Now we will move to the last part, that is urban local government. We all know that urban local government is divided in various units, just like municipality, NAC and municipal corporation. Large cities and towns composed of municipal corporation, the head is mayor. Small towns composed of municipality, that is chairman, and there are also NAC, that is notified area council. So urban local government is we can divide it in municipality, NAC, and first NAC, then municipality, then third one is municipal corporation. The head of municipal corporation is mayor, and the head of only municipality is, that is chairman. So dear students, hope you will understand, you have understood all the points I have discussed in this chapter. If any type of doubt, then you can also remind me, or you can also ask questions relating to this chapter.